I first became acquainted with Alaska Medical Missions by coming right here into this warehouse. So what I learned was Alaska Medical Missions does is sends different quantities of supplies and equipment to places around the world through lots of different means. Some people take supplies and equipment in suitcases, and then there are other opportunities where there's a great enough need and we have great enough connections that we could actually send significant amounts in containers. One of the first opportunities I had to put together a container was for some existing partners in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. I didn't know the people there. I didn't know their needs very well. Byron Perkins here, a member of our board, knew the people and knew the needs. And the first container I was able to help put together went to Burkina Faso.
Around 1999, there was the collapse of the Soviet Union, and Siberia was at a time of great starvation. They had a very difficult time on that side of the world. And we met with a number of other people and began to put together plans to get supplies, food, into the part of Siberia. And we ended up connecting with the governor and with Beyond Borders and many other organizations. For me personally, I had experience with the Lord, and he just asked me a question. And it's not like it was out loud, but it was a question of, what are you doing with the privilege of being born in a wealthy nation such as this, in such a time as this? And I realized this is a privilege that I have. Can I help in some small way share some of this great wealth of this nation for other people around the world?
The relationship between Proyecto Fe and Alaska Medical Missions is quite honestly the proverbial marriage made in heaven. And we've had extreme success with everything that we've done. 23 years ago, I began the ministry Proyecto Fe, which is based in Alaska, but ministering basically in Guatemala. We've built a school, now medical clinic, and have been involved in their lives for many, many years. Dating way back when we were allowed to take 70 pounds per tub along with us on our mission trips. One such trip had 48 youth. So we had 96 tubs at 70 pounds, all Alaska Medical Mission tools, materials that we get.
Alaska Medical Missions has been the most amazing resource in Anchorage, Alaska, and I think very unexpected. When I went to Malawi the first time, I met a team of other doctors that were from major cities across the United States, and nobody had anything like Alaska Medical Missions. Nobody had the support that they provided, the guidance that I got, the connections that I have found there have been instrumental in helping me navigate taking these mission trips.
I've been affiliated with Alaska Medical Missions since 2006. I went on my first medical education mission trip to Liberia. The needs were huge. The major hospital, the John F. Kennedy Medical Center, was just in terrible shape. I came back from Liberia with a huge shopping list of needs. Over the next several months, we were able to collect enough supplies here in Alaska to fill two 40-foot high-cube containers, pack them up, and ship them to Liberia. Since then, I have been on the board of Alaska Medical Missions. I've been volunteering here at the warehouse. It really, the participating with Alaska Medical Missions, knowing what we do for the people of the world, the facilities of the world, improving healthcare by providing these supplies, it actually has lifted my belief in God and my belief in what Alaska Medical Missions does, thanks to God's help.
My task daily is bring it in, look at it, make sure it works, it's feasible for other people to use, and then have medical teams and personnel come in and take the supplies with them on their trips. One of the best things I like about my job is if something comes in broken, I can fix it quite easily and get it into service. and then send it out and find out, well, it worked. But that's the fun part of the job, is just getting everything back into working condition for people to use.
One thing that amazed me about the people involved with the AMM supply chain, both coming in and going out, is the appreciation for the organization. Happy to have some place to drop off what is still of value, and on the flip side, thankful for the supplies that are so desperately needed other places. The evolution from collecting in garages, crawl spaces, storage units, to set up on the east side of 1805 and move to the west side, and throughout the constant challenge of growth, how can we be efficient in storage and maximize distribution? From the outside looking in, AMM may appear to be a small organization, even have limited reach. It may not be stopping civil wars, reversing global warming, ending world hunger, but to the people all over the globe that benefit from what's normally discarded, they may argue that everyone involved with Alaska Medical Missions makes a life and death difference.
It is a joy for me to talk about Alaska Medical Missions, to share my story, how we got involved with this. From the earliest days when we were collecting medical supplies and goods, durable medical goods, we put them in people's garages and crawl spaces, all with the idea that we would take them someday to help people around the world. That was a partnership even with Beyond Borders when that was still in existence, and over time that grew to be a warehouse collection system and ultimately what we know today as Alaska Medical Missions. So over 20 years of collecting, sorting, redistributing durable medical goods and supplies around the world. I personally have had the privilege of working for several different countries, and we've taken supplies personally to Mongolia, Burkina Faso, a number of containers that we've shipped to Burkina Faso. And to be a small part of something so much bigger than oneself is such a sense of purpose and meaning and contribution. So before Alaska Medical Missions had a board of directors, we had Alaska Medical Missions, and I had the privilege of serving with others doing exactly that. Working in the warehouse, sorting things, distributing things, making them available and ready. 20 years later, it's amazing to see what God has done in that period of time. So the opportunity to take what is surplus to us, what would otherwise be waste material in the United States, to make a difference and an impact in people's lives around the world. It's what Alaska Medical Mission is all about. And I'm privileged and pleased to even be a small part of that outreach.